Greetings and salutations, friends and gamers of all stripes. My name is GM Dave, your man behind the screen, and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Dungeons and Discussions. Now, on today's episode, I'm going to be discussing what is probably one of the funniest questions I've ever received regarding D&D. I can always count on my friends to give me some pretty damn hilariously out-of-the-box questions that I never would have thought I would ever be asked before. And as you can see, we're going to be doing this while just kind of absent-mindedly playing a bit of low-rank Hearthstone, because I'm too lazy to ever try to actively build up my rank, because I just don't give enough of a crap. Anyway, continuing on. This question came in from my friend Angela. It will be posted on the screen. I'm going to black out her face and her last name for the sake of privacy. I just feel that's the polite thing to do. Anyways, she asks, GM Dave, I have a question relevant to my D&D game. On the druid sheet, it says that you can turn into any animal you've seen before, referencing the wild shape ability. So what if you've only seen the opposite gender animal? Long story short, my GM and I are in an argument over changing genders for animal forms. Weigh in. So, basically, my friend Angela is in an argument with her GM about the fact that she's playing a, I'm going to presume, female druid and only run into male animals for the wild shape, and it seems her GM's being a bit of a stickler about that. Now, I'm going to give my ruling on this straight away here. It's ridiculous. There's no reason that this guy should be such a stickler about such a stupidly tiny detail. Come on, man. Seriously, dude.
A tactical.
You're just... It's... All you're doing with that is hampering Angela's ability to have fun in the game and making it needlessly difficult for her. Like I've said in my prior video, the basics of being a great player and a great GM, being a stickler about that kind of thing, making rulings that basically exist only to hamper your friend's fun, like this one, it's just dumb and unfair. Don't do it. But, for the sake of argument, just for the fun of it, let's say you are in a situation where your GM is being a stickler about this. Your GM is a stickler about any kind of ruling like this and actually does decide that because of the fact that you are playing a druid with wild shape, if you want to be able to, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. If you want to be able to wild shape, the animals you see must match the gender of your druid. I shouldn't need to tell you why that's so dumb, but alright. For the sake of argument, you've got a GM who's that level of a stickler. What can you argue to make them change that? Well, there's one thing for me that immediately comes to mind, and that is the idea of sexual dimorphism. Now, quick rundown for those of you who don't know what sexual dimorphism is. I imagine you probably do, but just in case you don't. Sexual dimorphism is the phenomenon in nature where you get the male and female of the same species exhibiting different physical traits from one another despite being of the same species. Prime example of that is our species, humans. Men and women, male and female humans, are physically different from one another. We have generally the same physical build, similar skeletal structure. We've all got a head, a torso, 2 arms and 2 legs, all that. But the sexual organs, as well as the placement and amount of our musculature, differs between men and women because we are a sexually dimorphic species. We evolved and developed to fill different roles in life. So, our bodies reflect that. And there are multiple other examples you can find in the animal kingdom of this. One example that I thought of earlier today was certain species of frog. Among some frogs, the males and the females will have differing traits. One of the biggest among them is physical size. Among certain species of frogs, you'll find that the females are larger than the males, sometimes up to 2 or 3 times as big, depending again on the species. However, the males are the only ones that are able to speak. Only the males can croak. The females can't. This is because the females and the males are meant to fulfill different roles. The females are larger so that they can protect their young, whereas the males are smaller and have the ability to speak so that they can attract the females as mates. Also, well, the females tend to eat the males after mating in these particular species. So, that's one example, but not really a particularly obvious example. What's a more obvious example? The elephant seal. Now, if you look at a male and female elephant seal, the body type is very similar. They both kind of got that somewhat sleek blimp shape. They both display, the typical traits of a seal. They're large, lots of fat for insulation. They are sleek so they can move in the water easily. However, the males are considerably larger than the females. And not just that, they also have one very notable difference, and that is the large proboscis on their face that gives them their name, the elephant-like nose where they get their name. This nose has 2 functions. One, it's sort of acts as a mating tool. 2, they also use it in their mating contests. When the males are fighting one another, they will each hit each other in the face, bite at each other, and the nose provides a little bit of protection from the teeth of the other male, if my memory serves me correctly. It might not. I'm not a biologist. I'm by no means an expert on this stuff. But, nevertheless, it is a clear example of sexual dimorphism. But there's an even more clear and obvious example we can go with. One that is so clear and so obvious that the name of this animal has actually been used to describe the mating rituals of other animals. The peacock versus the peahen. Peacocks have, as we know, very rich blue coloration and those famous, large, incredibly beautiful, colorful plumes. In the wild, this plumage, this coloration is actually a major disadvantage for the peacock because the large tail acts as a huge calorie sink and the bright plumage makes it very, very noticeable to predators. And so, the peacocks that manage to grow the largest tails, manage to grow the heaviest tails, and have the brightest plumage tend to be the most desired by the females because that is a sign that they are smart enough, strong enough, and have enough stamina to survive despite having this major evolutionary disadvantage. Now, why did I just spend the past few minutes going on about sexual dimorphism and examples of male and females animals being different when the entire question was, and my entire ruling was, you shouldn't be basing your decision on what your druids can change into based on whether the animal is male or female? Because the very vast majority of animals that you can transform into in D&D, the vast majority of animals that are statted out, are not sexually dimorphic. Yeah, they're things like tigers, bears, wolves, snakes, spiders, so on and so forth. Most of these animals are not sexually dimorphic. Most of these animals are so similar to each other, in fact, that unless you were to actually look at their genitalia, you would not be able to immediately look and tell the difference between a male and a female of their species. Because of this, it's really dumb, in my opinion, to be such a stickler about needing to be the same sex as the animal you're turning into. It's just incredibly stupid. I'm sorry, but it is. That's all I've got for you today, folks, with this utterly ridiculous topic. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope that you're not dealing with a DM that is this much of a stickler. And if you are, I hope you can convince them to just stop. Just stop. There's no reason for it. That's all for today, folks. I hope you have a great day. As always, my name is GM Dave. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. If you liked it, leave a like. And do you have any experiences of your own with GMs who are just real sticklers about this sort of thing, who are just really anal about stupid stuff like this? If so, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to follow me on social media. Links are in the description. And as always, friends and gamers of all stripes, it is my sincerest hope that you roll high, roleplay well, And enjoy the rest of this Hearthstone game as we all game
You
on.
asked for it.
The light shall bring victory.
Hey everyone, just a quick little footnote to tack onto the end of this video here. After I finished recording, I actually got in touch with Angela again and spoke with her about the silly situation that she found herself in, and she brought some new information to light that she hadn't shared with me in the original post that does have some bearing on the ruling that I gave regarding this really absurd situation that she asked me about. So expect a part 2 video tomorrow, an addendum to the ruling that I made here that is going to slightly change the situation that we were placed in. Turns out the GM is not the sole arbiter of the problem like the original post kind of made it seem. Alright, so keep your eyes open for that, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.
Not all what is real? Not all wonder are lost.